Hey everyone, for today's video I'm going to show a puzzle of mine which has a little bit of everything, and I won't get into it too much, but I'm pretty proud of it and it's pretty challenging, so feel free to give it your best.
Let's take a look at the following funny composition which I've created. It's white to move, and I have to say that white can legally castle here. It's pretty tricky, but feel free to give it your best shot. Alright, let's look at the solution. The first thing to note here is that white has only a knight and a bishop for black's queen, but black's king is in the center and in a dangerous position. In fact, if white could only put his knight on d6, that would be checkmate. Therefore, the most natural move to consider is knight b5. However, this does not work. Rook h1, king d2, and now black deflects white's bishop. Queen takes f2, bishop takes, and rook a1. Now knight d6 is no longer checkmate because of king e5, so black is doing well here. Back to the original position, white has two other possibilities, king d2 and castles, and it seems like they transpose. Let's look at castles first. It doesn't work, but it's instructive to see the differences between castles and king to d2. Castles threatens rook e1, so rook h1 is more or less forced. Knight b5 threatening knight d6. Rook d1, king d1, and now d2. White has to take, and now it looks like white's just winning, right? Like knight d6 is going to come, and it's unstoppable. But black has queen e7. This is the key. Controlling the d6 square, and now we see knight d6, queen d6. cd is stalemate. It turns out that white can't really do anything else in this position. They can try to play on, for example, c6, but now black has queen c7, hitting the c6 pawn, and if you take, it's stalemate, so it turns out this would just be a draw. It's also important to note that white can't do much else here because if they ever move the bishop, queen takes c5 is always a possibility. So instead, king d2 is the correct first move. Rook h1 is forced, rook takes h1, queen takes h1, and now knight b5. And the difference, as we'll later see, is that the queen's on h1, not h4. Now knight d6 is threatened, so queen h6 is forced. And of course, knight d6, queen takes d6 would be the same stalemate from before. So in this position, it kind of seems like white really can't do anything then. And it seems very similar to the castles line, which we looked at earlier with queen e7. But in this position, the key difference is now white's bishop can move. And he has the incredible move, bishop h8. The first point is tactical, queen takes h8, runs into knight d6, king e5, and now knight f7 with the fork and a winning position. So instead, what else can black do? Knight d6 is a threat now because the d pawn is able to move. Black only has one try, d4, and now black just wants to run away with the king, king d5. So white says, not so fast, c4, no soup for you. And now black has a few different options here. Black could try to wait around in the position. For example, queen b6. Okay, you can't take because it's stalemate, but bishop takes d4. And now say queen c6. Now white just comes back with the bishop, bishop h8, and knight c3 is a huge threat. Black could try queen f6, and you can't take because it's stalemate, and knight d6 is stalemate, but simply knight c3. Queen takes c3, and now not taking back with the bishop because that's stalemate, but with the king. And after d2, not king takes d2, that's stalemate, but king c2, d1 queen, and king takes, it's not stalemate anymore. Black could try to improve with queen h6 to control the h8 square, but white just distracts the queen, c6, queen c6, and now bishop h8 with a similar variation to before. So instead, on the fourth move, black could try queen to f6. Okay, you can't take because it's stalemate, as we already know. So white might try to pass a move. a3 is obvious, but it's actually a big mistake. Now black plays queen g6, and white is the one in zugzwang. White doesn't want to move his knight, can't move any of his pawns, and his bishop doesn't have anywhere to go. But if he moved his king, then there would be queen checks. So instead of a3, white can just move their king, say king d1. And now the d pawn is movable, the queen is hit, and knight d6 is a threat, so this would just be winning for white. So black has one last trick, queen g6. Again, you can't move the king to the back rank, so what do you do here? a3. And now it turns out that black is simply in zugzwang. The queen always has to control the d6 square. There's really nothing to try. Queen f6, perhaps, but now just king d1 with the winning position. I just think it's amusing the way that black tries to do all these different stalemate tricks, but at the end of the day, white wins by setting up this very complicated zugzwang.
So that was the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already. That way you won't miss any of my videos. And if you would like to see my recent video, please click here. Thanks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.